Eric Burgess here with Music Marketing TV, and today we will be diving into Gatekeeper by Polyverse. So this is a gating plugin. It basically controls the volume in a very fancy way. It can also affect panning in a very fancy way. Let me really quick just show you a quick demo. I just want to show off some things that are really very impressive about plugins of this nature, and in particular why I like Gatekeeper so much, because I actually have a couple plugins that do similar things, and Gatekeeper tends to be the one that I pull out just because it's super well thought out and it's very easy to just load up and use. So the first thing is super versatile. These things are insanely versatile. So here, for example, is a string loop. And I have some drums here as well. They're not synced up, but I would like to toss some crazy volume gating on the strings to make them come in and out with the drums. And so I'm just going to simply turn on Gatekeeper, and that's exactly what this envelope is going to do. Because I'm gating it at a tempo that is synced with the DAW, in this case Studio One, they will play in sync with each other. So let me go ahead and play it for you. This kind of blew my mind when I was first using things of this nature, how fast you could get something that sounds pretty dang cool. Let me mute the drum so you can just hear the strings. Now they've done a couple of things in here that are just super well thought out. So first off, it's really easy to change these shapes. If you've ever used Massive, they have a similar sort of builder. If you ever use these stepper or performer tabs in Massive, you come in here, you can choose a shape and draw it in. So that's kind of extreme. Oh, by the way, we can zoom in and out super easily here, which is something that I'm so glad they came up with a great way of zooming in and out and navigating very easily. So we could do something like this. I don't know, we grab a shape. Maybe we'll do some drops right here. We could change our grid size so that we're not necessarily always working on such a large scale. And we could get some nice middle stuff here. Maybe in the middle, we'll go back to the higher grid size and let's choose a different shape. Let's go with that. Why not? We'll do one of these. And so it's really, really easy to get unique rhythms quickly. You can also come in and add nodes at different points. You do not have to snap to grid either. So if you really want to be unique and change every little thing, which is what I tend to like to do, you can get really organic, customized sounds, which to me really sells the effect. And I'm a volume automation sort of junkie. I usually automate things. This plugin has largely taken the place of certain things I would do in that domain, simply because this is so much faster and easier to do, like insanely faster and easier because of this. So there's that. Now, along with this, they also have some really interesting presets. Like the presets here are a little scary on how well thought out they are. And a lot of them showcase very interesting ideas. So for example, if we go to the stereo section, they use a lot of these things to work as a sort of panning envelope. So we can have a bunch of different envelopes here. And if you notice, one's got panned -100 and one's panned +100. So they're affecting the left and the right channels individually. And on some patches, you'll even find one that covers the middle, the mono, so you'll see it panned at 0, and the amplitude will be changed slightly on each. Let me just go through some of the presets to sort of show you what I mean. So here's an example of that one I was just talking about. We've got one panned to the, what is that, the right, one to the left, and then one straight down the middle. And so you can get some really cool gated images, but it's just really cool to see that sort of use being done. We've got a rhythm. If you ever, the swing presets, super cool to mess with. So in here, there's also a delay. So you might be noticing, hey, that sounds like there's a verb or something. It's because they have a delay on here, and you're able to dial that into your liking. Another touch that's just like, hey, this makes a lot of sense to have in here. Along with that, they also have some really cool clipping options on your way out. So if you want to just clip something and hit it hard, you can do that. Now I have another example here. I have a synthesizer. So let's go ahead and mute that, unmute this. And the synth by itself, without Gatekeeper. And this is Zills 4, if you are curious about the source. So I'm just using Zills Lab 4, and let's toss a Gatekeeper on it. See what we can get going here. So here I've loaded up just a preset, and let's just see it, give it a go. I want to stop right here and point out something that's pretty interesting. You'll notice on the pan, there's these little controls down here, or buttons. If you click them, we see that we have an alternate, a rand, a note, and a velocity. And these are like additional controls that can change. In this case, alt stands for alternate, and all that means is that it's going between the highest value and the lowest value. So in this case, that translates to left and right, right and left. It's going to be moving back and forth between those. So it's just really cool to have some tinier options inside to control some of these options, such as panning and amplification. One that I'd also like to point out is the rand option, the ability to randomize things over time. That can really go a long ways in making something not sound static over a track. You could dial this up a little bit. That could be a pretty cool thing to have. But anyways, if you're wondering what these little controls in here are, that's what they are. And so you can get some, what was mono can suddenly become stereo, and a dynamic image to have to add interest to your track. Let's go through a couple more presets. And that's Gatekeeper in a nutshell. There are a couple additional things that are pretty unique to it. Like, for example, it has a lot of powers when it comes to outputting control voltages. Like if you right click on a node, this whole extra option shows up, like all these extra options. And you can see you can actually specify unipolar and bipolar on the CV output, which if you have gear that you want to output to, this could be really cool to have as an option. It makes it really straightforward. If you have any questions about Gatekeeper, let me know. Subscribe and hit the bell icon, and have a blessed day.